Hi everyone. This is our third video in our discussion, spiritual discussion. As you can all see, we're actually in Hawaii. Wearing Hawaiian shirts, pretend Hawaii, and actually in Detroit. But we like to believe this is Hawaii. That's like the blue water behind us over there, and we're here to talk about serious matters, spiritual matters.
Yes, and feel free to pretend to be in Hawaii with us. While we all trying to address serious issues of life, let's have a little fun too.
There we go. Perfect.
Very
Perfect.
very
Yep. So, tuning in from Hawaii or Detroit, where it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got an interesting topic that we wanted to talk about today. And by the way, my name is Richard Sharma. This is Narendra Kumar, and so I guess let's jump right into it.
Very good, very good.
Okay, so building on from the first two talks that we did yesterday and the day before, we talked about the differences between spirituality and religion, and the second one was about masters, what is a master and a guru. So kind of trying to build onto that, the question that we have for today for you, Narendraji, is how do you find, or how did you find your master? I guess for starters, let me ask you, so that everyone knows, who is your guru? Who is your master?
My master is Yogananda Paramahansa.
Yogananda Paramahansa. Okay.
Paramahansa.
By the way, that's
He-
a picture of him.
Yeah, he's the one who wrote the autobiography of Yogi. And I read his book, a friend of mine gave it to me in 1991.
Oh, 91, okay.
And so I read it. It's an interesting book. A lot of wonderful information is in there. And those of you who haven't read it, it's a beautiful thing to read. But honestly, being of a scientific mindset and intellectual bent, I never believed in the concept of gurus and masters. I used to think all these people who cannot think for themselves, they are blindly following somebody.
Yeah.
And of course, having spent earlier part of my life in India, every now and then hear horror stories of these so-called gurus mistreating people, taking advantage of people, stealing money, or
We read a
raping
lot.
some women and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I was really put up by the whole idea. I never believed in it.
I don't blame you.
Right.
There's a lot of
But then some things happened to me, like as I started doing meditation, and then some people convinced me that actually there's a big difference between a first-class master and any, like a gas station guru. There's a big difference.
Gas station
There are a lot of shady gurus out there.
Yes.
They are self-appointed, self-certifying people, and those are dangerous people. And I don't have a problem that this world is like a school system, so we need teachers and professors of all different levels. But my point is, can we all just keep a good quality standard? So whatever we have to give information or help people with, at least follow some good quality morals and principles.
Yes.
And it's saddening that a lot of times some of these people don't follow any of those.
Yes.
And
you're
people
right,
get
you're right.
hurt, and many people get disappointed.
Yes.
The whole concept of guru relationship gets distorted then.
Yes.
And that's where I was coming from.
Wow. Okay.
Well, somebody proved to me, look, first-class masters are different. And I'm talking about people like Jesus Christ, Yogananda, Saint Germain, Shirdi Sai Baba, Guru Nanak, and masters like that, Saint Francis of Assisi, Moses, these are wonderful masters. And they are far beyond these human manipulations and hidden agendas and stuff like that, And that's a very different breed of people we're dealing with.
Yep.
So the way somebody guided me, said the best way to find your master is to pray to God. They said, God, dear God, please send me my spiritual master because I'm ready, and make sure that we both recognize each other. And that's basically what I started doing. It took me like 1 year and a half or so. It made me realize that Yogananda Paramahansa was my spiritual master, and he still is, and I'm very grateful for that.
So it seems like you said, in 91 is when you first read the autobiography book.
Yes.
And about a year and a half after that event, I guess,
Right.
is is that when you started feeling your spiritual dimension is actually opening up, like what you talked about in the first talk that we had, where you felt it necessary to have a guru, or is it something that by chance happened and you felt okay? Let me
Well,
go?
it seems like an accident, but what happened is I started going meditation
Okay.
for meditation to the center, and there I met a motherly lady,
Okay.
and she basically told me that he's her master, and I didn't believe in that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I was just open-minded, trying to just look
Yeah.
around what's out there.
Yeah.
I saw the benefits of meditation, but then she said, maybe I should accept him as my guru or master. And I was very hesitant to that. I said,
No,
no. First of all, he's dead. He died in 1952. I mean, how do you talk to somebody who's dead?
Yes.
Here I'm talking 1991, 92 time frame.
Right. Right.
So it didn't make sense to me. And she said, no, you just understand. Human beings have 4 dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Each one of us have. And see what happens, that each dimension has a power. This is power of 1, this is power of 10. This emotional dimension has power of 100, and spiritual dimension has power of 1,000. So each person has a power of 1,111. So when somebody dies, the only thing is missing 1. So 1,110 of that person is still out there in the space.
Oh,
And
I
that's
see.
why the prayers work, and that's why the guru concept works.
I see.
The only practical problem is just how do you talk to somebody who's died?
Yes.
And she said, no, I talk to him all the time. And again, I was very suspicious. I said, well, how could you talk to somebody who's dead? And he said, I need proof. And she proved it to me in many verifiable ways.
Wow.
Some
Wow.
of the things only I knew, and I was amazed to find out that she was able to read it out just like that.
Wow.
And then I found out that Yogananda Ji has written a book, How to Communicate with God. I mean,
Yes.
they say it's really the fine art and science of how to communicate in spirit with a master who's not in physical body. You can use the same methodology for communicating with God.
Wow.
And that's what impressed me. And she trained me how to do that.
I see.
And
I see.
that's when I opened up to him. But again, being from a scientific and engineering background,
Yeah.
I still did not believe it. They said, wait a minute. I tried to read his books,
Yes.
and I tried to listen to his poetry and songs. It all sounded nice. But again, back in my mind is, wait a minute, that doesn't make him my master.
Yeah.
Because my point is, what's the practical significance of this for
Right.
me?
Right.
I was going through issues, my personal life issues, and a whole lot of concerns and fears and anxieties.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how is that going to work out for me?
Yeah.
But when she told me that, no, you can include him as your best friend, as your
Oh,
loving
okay.
father,
I see. I see.
and then you present him the questions and problems and wait to hear the answers. And that was the miracle.
Okay. Okay.
That was awesome.
See, because I have a question here. It seems like let's say there's somebody who finds a guru for themselves,
Right.
and that guru is not in a physical body. And I'm sure many of you watching this might have the same question. Now, let's say I'm going through some relationship problems and
Right, right.
relationship difficulties. Now, and I have a guru who's not in a physical body. Now, reading his book or reading some of his teachings is not going to help me solve a relationship issue. Let's say somebody's going through a divorce. Well,
Yeah,
go
because-
read 4 lines and it'll help
Yeah,
with the
because
divorce. That's
the
not going to
book
happen.
is not going to talk back to
It's
you.
not going to talk back to you.
Right.
So I guess it comes down to the question where you kind of started talking about it, is that even though he's not in a physical body, but you know that 100% of the time you're able to communicate with Yogananda,
Yes.
and he talks back to you, and you're able to receive
Yes.
whatever he wants you to know or do or act upon.
Yes.
And so that's a true statement. At all times you are in constant communication.
Yeah,
with
because
your Guruji.
having seen her, that she was communicating all the time,
You know
and
there's a way.
giving me enough data and proof,
Yes, I see. Yeah.
especially in the areas of my own personal life that I never told anybody about. How does she know?
How did she know? That makes sense. Yeah.
Or like if I had a dream or something, next day she calls me telling me about the dream. How is that going to
How
work
does she
out?
know?
How
Yeah.
does she know? I haven't
Yeah.
even told a soul.
Beautiful.
Or if I have a
Beautiful.
stomach ache, she calls me on the phone in the morning. I had a stomach ache at night, like 2:30 at night. First thing she calls me in the morning. No, she actually calls me at night in my office phone. And how's your stomach now, baby?
Wow.
I hope you're feeling
wow. Wow.
Wow.
How does she know?
Yeah, exactly.
How does
and
she
that's
know?
what opened
Yes.
up my mind. It's like, whoa, this is neat. This is neat to have a cell phone of your master who's not in the physical body. Same way you can have cell phone of God. You can talk to God.
Yes.
But it's a scientific technique. You have to make yourself silent inside.
Oh, I
Do
see.
your meditations and prayers. Become more focused and listen. And in the silence, you can hear the voice, either through intuition or some other different ways. There are people who hear clear voices. And I have heard voices too. A lot of times I
Wow.
get messages intuitively. A lot of times I see pictures.
Yes.
He would send the pictures. And again, even after all this, I wasn't convinced. I said, wait a minute. I have requirements. I have my own requirements.
Yes.
Just because you are holier than thou doesn't mean I have to follow you, so you're very famous, so what?
Right.
If you don't work out for me, if you can't give me time of the day,
What use are you?
if I have to stand in
point?
line for 3 hours just to say hello to you,
What's the point? Yeah.
then you cannot be my master. So I had my own requirements, like you must be available to me 24 hours a day. Then thou shalt speak English. Don't throw me
No
Sanskrit verses, all English verses, because that means I will conclude that you don't know the answers.
Mm.
So I'm talking to you in English.
You answer
talk to me in English.
English.
And most important thing for me is look, words are always confusing. If you give a verse of Gita or Bible to 100 people and you tell them to think about the answers, they'll probably come back with 300 answers and they'll still be arguing.
Yes.
He said,
Yeah.
this is the problem with interpretation.
Yeah.
This is why there are so many arguments about scriptures. So my argument was, okay, I'm an engineer. We also work with a lot of suppliers, and we give them pictures, drawings of parts. We specify the material, the dimensions and the tolerances and the finish,
Yeah.
and what material, and we give it to 12 suppliers. Wow, same part comes back. Isn't that a miracle? And we are not even spiritual people, we are ordinary human beings. And you people, so-called holy people, you're going to change the world and you're going to stand on tall stages and give us all lecture to straighten ourselves. Honestly, in my own craziness, I said, you guys are messed up. You need to straighten out. You need to go learn a lesson in English. Okay? Maybe you need to learn how to draw pictures. I said, look, I will believe you if you teach me the way I understand. See, everybody understands and learns differently. Some people like to touch things, some people like to hear things, some people like to smell things, taste things. I like to learn best by looking at pictures. I'm a visual person. I said, I will believe when you give me, I will ask you questions and you give me answers, pictures, charts, and graphs. If you can do that, then I will believe you are my master. And if you can't do that, please continue going. Bon voyage to wherever you're going. Maybe he was trying to go to Hawaii. I don't know.
right. Oh boy.
So that's in my own craziness. I said I stayed firm on my requirements. He says it's not about me accepting it just because you appear to be holy. No. You have to be of some practical use to me on my terms.
Yes. Only then can you grow or make progress. You
Right.
understand? So that would make sense because my next question was going to be like, how did you identify your guru. So is it because he satisfied your requirements
Yes.
in whatever way, so you
Yes.
know he is your guru?
Honestly. Because I started reading his books, but after a while I said, "Wait, here's a list of my questions. Problems and these things. Where are my answers? It's wonderful that you've written wonderful books and you can sing poetry and write poetry. But honestly, when I was suffering, I was problems. Last thing I wanted to hear is poetry. I want straight answers. I don't need wishy-washy answers. I don't need think about it. I'm going to throw a conundrum at you. No, it won't work with me. And I'm very grateful for him. When I started asking questions, I see pictures here.
Wow.
I said, wow. I write it down. I have every piece of paper saved from that on till today.
Wow.
And I started putting all them in a computer.
Wow.
And I look at the picture, I get it. You see, remember, a picture is worth thousands of words.
Yes. Yes.
He saved a lot of words.
So I guess for people listening,
That's how I know. That's how I know he's my master.
there we go. So he satisfied your requirements.
All my requirements.
So to me,
And guess what? It's not only that. Even after that, I gave him up 3 times because I got disappointed with some of his monks. And I'm
I
not
see.
saying they're all bad,
Right.
but a couple of them had some questionable attitudes.
It just doesn't make
And
sense
they
if you
did not
have
give me
your
proper
guide.
answers, and I was surprised.
Yeah. How can they be your
Right.
disciples or?
Then I basically told them, look, I'm going to complain against you in the office of God. And I'm going to go to Better Spirituality Bureau and complain against you. And I did that. And
Wow.
craziness, look at my craziness. It still worked. And I said, you know what? I need 3 independent confirmations that you are my guru.
Amazing.
And
You got those.
without me telling anything, people stop me on the way. Hey, Yogananda is your guru, right?
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Right? They're poking me like
Wow.
this. Out of nowhere.
Wow.
That's how I got confirmed. And I'm very happy, very grateful for him. Very grateful.
Amazing. Amazing. So I guess going by what you just said, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think for anyone out there in this world who's looking for a spiritual master, who wants to grow spiritually, it is absolutely good and probably recommended to be brave enough or to be able to tell your master that you need to answer my questions, my concerns on my terms, in my language. It is absolutely fair to ask for that.
It's just like dating. It's just like finding yourself a husband or wife.
Hmm.
You don't just marry anybody. You have to make sure you talk the same language, you have something in common, you understand, you are able to communicate with each other, open our hearts to each other. Because it's a matter of developing the deep inner faith. It's got to be based on some performance, some actions, some behaviors, some repeatable quality data. And what I'm saying, please do not underestimate your capability and do not give up your requirements. That's how you find a master. You do not just pick up anybody coming in the street dressed in orange or white clothes. You don't know who the other person is.
Yes.
You make sure you grill the person. Make sure all your requirements are met.
Right.
And that's not being disrespectful.
Right. You're actually being real.
Yeah,
With your-
you need
with
to be
your
real
master,
with
with
yourself.
God.
Yeah,
Right, absolutely, with
exactly.
yourself.
I mean, if I speak French, why do I need? What will I do with a Chinese-speaking master?
Right. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Yep. So please, everyone, if there's any a takeaway that at least makes sense to me over here is if you're in the process of looking for a guru or a master, please be sure to ask him or her, or let him or her know that you need to answer any questions, any concerns you have, or any teachings on your terms, the way you see it, the way you see fit, and only when you're satisfied is when you accept someone as your guru.
Yeah, take your own time, but make sure your requirements are met. Also, if I may say something, remember, you have to be a good student of your own life. Don't just cut corners.
Yeah.
Don't say you understood it when you really are not clear about the answer that's being given to you.
Right.
Just have the courage of saying, sorry, I don't understand. Or you did not give me the answer on my terms. Don't be afraid. Good quality masters are very loving people. They will be there with you. They will not shout at you. They will not throw a foo-foo dust at you. They will not turn into a goat or a chicken. No, they don't do that. Nothing like that. That's all ignorance. But look at it this way. If you are going to accept a high quality master, first of all, do not settle for substandard people. Go with a high quality master. If it's somebody you are accepting who's not in a physical body, please go and learn how to communicate in spirit. You know, it can be learned. If you are here in Detroit, come on over, we'll share with you. We handle workshops like this.
Yes.
And it can be learned. Many people at our center learn, they already talk to masters. But if you are not able to learn that, then you will need a person who is in the physical body. And if you accept somebody in physical body, make sure your requirements are met again. Do not just be satisfied seeing the master once a year for just about 15 seconds. What is the use? How would you like to meet your husband or girlfriend just for 15 seconds a year? What kind of relationship is that? That's not going to work for you, is it? So, same thing with the spiritual master. Make sure he's available to you as long as you want on your terms. And if the person is too busy, doesn't give you time, tell him flat out, you are useless for me.
Move on.
Thank you very much. God bless you. I'm going to go somebody who's going to give me my personal time as and when I need. And by the way, I need your cell phone. I need your email. I need your text number. I need your secretary's fax number and his phone number and cell number.
Yeah.
Because when you are in need, that's when you'll be able to appreciate the help and guidance from these masters.
Yes.
Because that's what it is all about. We are all struggling. And I'm saying, in your struggle, remember, masters are ready to help you. High quality masters are looking for any excuse to help you.
Yeah.
The only thing we require now is the communication system.
Once that's established,
If you're in
you're all
physical,
set. Yeah.
you need the cell phone, make sure that you're available to you. If they're not, move on.
Yeah.
And if they're not in physical, learn to the art and science of communication in spirit.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So that, hopefully that helped everyone. This makes sense. Thank you, Narendraji. So I guess coming back to one of the basic points is, why do we even need a guru? We talked about that.
Yes. Yeah, it's important to understand. You need spiritual master because you need specific instructions. Holy scriptures are not specific instructions. If you have a health problem, ask the master, he will tell you. He or she will tell you.
Yeah.
If you have a specific problem, a holy book will not tell you this. A master is supposed to tell you this. And not only that, then also what is going on inside of you, all your inner struggles and fears and anxieties and concerns. He or she is supposed to help you with the specific steps. Do this, don't do this. Go about it this way. He's your advisor, he's your coach, he's your best friend who has spiritual connections. But more important about spiritual masters, he is loaded with spiritual horsepower. A normal teacher doesn't. The biggest help a spiritual master comes from the supernatural power of God that flows through him.
Yeah.
That clears out your past karmas and past habits and unproductive programs just by touching you, just by looking at you. The grace of the divine flows through the master and touches you. That's why if you go in front of a spiritual master, you feel light, happy, and relieved. And don't be surprised if you go see a spiritual master, some of your health problems disappear just by being in this space.
Yeah.
Your old habits, you wanted to quit smoking before, you could not, but not just because you happen to be touched by the master. smoking habit is gone.
Wow. So a complete transformation
Yes.
can happen within seconds.
Yes. I've seen many things like that happen. Not one or two, thousands.
Wow.
So open it up, my brother and sister. Open it up. Take a chance. All masters are not bad, but look out for the shady ones.
Yes. That brings me to the last question.
Yes.
Talking about picking the master, do you have any tips for any of our listeners or viewers? Any tips or suggestions on how to find or identify a first-class master for themselves? Like if they're ready to go out there and look for one.
I mean, I could give you some examples of first-class masters like Jesus Christ, Yogananda, Guru Nanak, Shirdi Sai Baba, Bangalore Sai Baba, Saint Francis of Assisi, Moses.
Yes.
You know, these are very good examples. First thing, the vibration level is very high. They connect with you and they have the spiritual horsepower behind them. And they will never ask you to do anything illegal, immoral, or improper. Never use force on you. That's very important. And you have to just watch a person, look at the ordinary behavior. And by that you can tell if the person is acting in an unreasonable way, an unfair way. There's not much spirituality in that person.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if you look for simple things like this, you'll be able to tell. Vivekananda has said in his writings that you can tell about a person's character by watching them behavior and treat each other in a simple way. You know, watch somebody how they behave in a buffet line. Look at them how they're treating the children. Look at them how they're getting up, what their attitude and relationship with food is. Look at them how they handle problems.
Wow.
And things like that.
Wow.
If the person is fair and reasonable and mature and balanced and loving and giving and helpful and kind and appears to be peaceful and balanced, there's something in that person.
Amazing. That is very.
Yes.
That is very.
And spiritual
insightful.
masters reflect all those things.
Yes.
They're not just pretending to be good. There are many who are pretending to, but pay attention to your inner voice. It will tell you. Listen to your inner voice.
Amazing.
Especially if you're a sensitive person. Listen to it and believe it.
It'll not fail you.
Yes, it will not fail you.
It'll not fail you.
God has put that radar system inside you.
Wow. Learn to use it.
Yeah.
We all
very
have to
good.
learn to use it.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Cool. So I guess just to recap, I know we're out of time. We try to keep these videos at like 20-22 minutes. I know we're a little over time, but he found his master back in 91-92 time frame. How did he identify his master? Well, he had a few requirements. All of those were met.
Yes.
Fully.
Very happy.
Since his master is not in a physical body, so he learned how to communicate with his master in spirit.
Right.
And so for anyone out there who's looking for a master who's not in a physical body, these are certain prereqs that need to be met, and it can all be learned. If one person can learn it, we can all learn it. And I think you're setting a great example
Yes.
for everyone out there that we can all do this. And the idea is to build a very deep personal relationship.
Yes.
Not a master you need them once a year or once every 6 months. You're in constant contact with them all the time.
Yes.
Then that's the way. Then you're going somewhere
Very.
on the spiritual path.
Very good.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Narendraji, and thank you everyone for watching. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spirituality 4 Results. And if you do have any suggestions or any other topics you want us to talk about, just put them in the comments, and we keep checking it out. So we'll definitely talk about whatever questions you may have in future videos.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye from Hawaii, and we'll be back in Detroit later.
Aloha.
Aloha, Hawaii.